What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another collaboration beer, this time between the Other Half Brewing Company out of both Brooklyn and Rochester, New York, and Hidden Springs Ale Works out of Tampa, Florida, and this is their Churro Cart. So they are calling this, wait for it, a chocolate and marshmallow covered Churro Imperial Stout that is brewed with cinnamon, marshmallow, cacao nibs, and vanilla. Comes in at 14.3% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed in time of review. This bottle is approximately 3.5 months old. So I've been waiting to drink this one for a while. Now, usually I don't review a lot of the bottles from Other Half on the channel, and that's because I usually save these to share with friends. And that's because most of the time, these are super huge ABV, and it's like I don't want to drink an entire 500 milliliter bottle, a 16.9 ounce bottle. But today I figured, I'd crack this open and save the other half for average pops. And yeah, I just wanted to get into this one. It's like I said, 3.5 months old. They say to keep cold and drink it within 6 months, so I am doing that. And yeah, we'll see how this is. So cinnamon, marshmallow, cacao nibs, and vanilla. I'd imagine this is going to be a crazy sweet beer. A lot of these Other Half Imperial Stouts, that are 12, 13, 14, 15%, they are crazy sweet. I've only had collaborations from Hidden Springs, from Other Half, and I've never had any of their own beer, so might have to search them out at some point. So yeah, not a huge hiss on that at all. Not a huge hiss. We just have a blank cap. I'll throw it over here. Not that it matters. Let's give this a pour. I'm probably only going to pour like 4 or 5 ounces. We're not going to go crazy. That's like motor oil. All right, I think that's good like that, honestly. Not trying to get crazy yet, baby. How's this going to go like this? Go like this. Okay. Oh, I can smell it from here. So as you can see, poured out like motor oil. Doesn't have a head on it. It's, yeah. So that's a 14.3% Imperial Stout. So pitch black, poured out like motor oil, had about a quarter finger of this like mocha colored head that is now dissipated to a thin film. Alcohol legs for days all over the glass. It's insane. Let's get a nose. It smells fucking great. Tons of that marshmallow, like a lot of marshmallow and vanilla going on this one. Definitely sweeter, like dark chocolate, but marshmallow is dominating the day. There's a touch of cinnamon, although at 3.5 months old, it may have dissipated a little bit. It smells really sweet, though. It smells like this is going to be super fucking sweet. Jesus. It smells really good, but it smells kind of like a nondescript pastry stout. Just like it just smells like your generic pastry stout, but in a good way. It has a lot of sweetness, that marshmallow vanilla chocolate thing going on. It kind of has like s'more-esque qualities to it, more so than a churro, just because that cinnamon's not as big. But it smells like this is going to be a huge beer. It definitely is a huge beer, and I want to give it a go because yeah, the nose is, I don't want to say the nose is underwhelming, but it's just like, there's 3 or 4 characters. I pretty much said what I needed to say. It smells rich and sweet, and I think it's going to be, it's standing by glass. Let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. This has been out of the fridge for about an hour, so we should be fine. That's really tasty, but holy shit, is that sweet. That is sweet. Wow. Ooh. First things first, 14.3%, yeah. Even almost 4 months old. I would peg this at like 12, 13%, but you can tell this is a huge beer. Warming into the chest, warming into the stomach. It's on the palate. It's not super astringent on the palate. You're just like, oh man, this, I get the vapors through the nose. Big beer. Body on this one's like medium to full on body. It's syrupy. It's thick. It's viscous. It's close to full body. It's really thick. Mouthfeel on this one has carbonation, but it's undercarbed or light carbonation, and it has a soft smoothness to it, but it's not really creamy. I don't think they use lactose in it. I would have liked to see lactose in this and maybe less vanilla, just because I think you lessen the vanilla character because you're not using vanilla, you're using lactose. Most time when I have lactose, I give vanilla, but not as pungent and intense as regular vanilla. And you think you would enhance the creaminess of this one a little bit. And then again, using lactose instead of vanilla, it's going to be even more sweet. So maybe not. But in the taste, it's churro-esque. It's more like you took a s'mores and you like dumped some cinnamon and sugar on top. There's a lot of marshmallow, a lot of vanilla in this, a lot of sweet or dark chocolate. The cinnamon is there, and I'm getting it more like mid to the second half of the palate, like on the back of the throat. There's a little bit of like cinnamon spiciness going on. This does not finish dry. This does not finish bitter. This is sweet, sweet, and sweet. This is a cloying beer. I'm just say that right now. I'm glad I'm going to save the second half or the other half of that beer for Average Pops, because I think this is going to be a great sipping beer. As I'm reviewing this right now, the Sabres are playing later on tonight, Buffalo Sabres, NHL, hockey. And I think I'm going to sip on the half of this bottle. So I have whatever X amount in here, 3-4 ounces. Pour another 3 or 4 ounces, save the rest for Pops. I think it'll take me probably the first period, maybe even half the game to finish the rest of this and get an appropriate idea of what I think about it. But as I'm drinking it right now, pretty damn good. I do enjoy it, but it's a cloying beer. It's super sweet. Couple critiques from me. Number one, I would like to see a little bit more carbonation. It's definitely undercarbed, as you can tell from the head knot. I know it's a big beer, and usually big beers, they don't have a ton of carbonation, but like I want a little bit more carbonation here. Number two, dial back to sweetness. 14.3%. I know it's going to be sweet, but with all those adjuncts in here, it's making it incredibly sweet. And the other one is that I want a little bit more cinnamon. Now that could be my problem and my fault, because I drank this one 3.5 months old as opposed to like 3.5 weeks old. But the cinnamon has died out a decent amount. So if you have a bottle of this, I would recommend probably opening it sooner rather than later, because the cinnamon is probably going to die off quite a bit. And then you're going to be left with, pretty much just a super sweet cloying beer that has no spiciness to it. Overall, though, I do dig this one. It's not an amazing Imperial Stout. I think it's just really well made, quite tasty, but yeah, I should have drank this a little fresher. So that's on me. As is Churro Cart from Other Half and Hidden Springs. I'm going to give it a high 4 out of 5 and go 4.1 out of 5. It's a good beer. That sweetness is crazy, and this is the definition of a sharing beer. I would highly recommend, if you have a bottle of this, to share it with 3 or 4 people. Everyone have 3 or 4 ounces, and I think you'll be happy. I think even 8 ounces of this might be a bit too much for me. That said, fun to try this one out. It's always fun to get my hands on Other Half bottles. I picked this up at the brewery, and I believe the price on this one was $18 for this bottle. $16 or $18, I believe. I don't think it was 20. I think it was like 18 bucks for a 500 milliliter bottle with all this going on, 14.3%. I'm okay with paying that. Might be a bit pricey for some, and I get it. For me to try it, yeah, it's fine. Availability, this was brewery only. Probably at the Other Half Rochester or Other Half Brooklyn location, and that was it. I don't think this made it distro anywhere. Some of their cans, they do mobile canning releases and whatnot, but I don't think this showed up anywhere. So yeah, the availability, not the greatest. The price, I think it's appropriate, but also not a great value. At the end of the day, Churro Cart from Other Half and Hidden Springs, 4.1 out of 5 for me. Not much more I can say about it, yeah. Big beer, you can tell, has alcohol. Although the alcohol isn't too crazy on the palate, you can definitely tell. I'm feeling it more in my chest and my stomach. Like I feel like I'm starting to feel great. Let's just say that. So if you've had this one before, let me know what you think about it. Appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. The next one. Cheers.